trafficking, we often think of countries abroad. The truth of the matter is that it is happening in our very own city. I want you to envision the words female slave in trafficking when you look at me. I am a survivor of sex trafficking. At the age of 21, I was introduced to a life that nobody should ever have to endure. During the summer of 1999, I ended up catching the Greyhound bus to the Bay Area. I found myself wandering the streets with no money and nowhere to go. I was too embarrassed to call my mother for help and ask for help. I ended up running into a man in the streets and told him that I needed to get out of here. Little did I know, I ran into a well-known pimp's arms. Here I was 21 years old and thought I found love. Well, that is at least what he told me. For the next 7 years, I was his bottom girl and my life was under his control. There was no reason for me to leave in my mind. I received all the attention and pampering a girl could desire. I was trafficked online through escort services, in casinos, in strip clubs, and on many streets, such as San Francisco, Oakland, Los Angeles, Santa Ana, Phoenix, Las Vegas, and Reno. For the majority of the 7 years, I lived out of hotels here in Oakland. During the time I spent on the streets being trafficked, I went to jail numerous times. I was arrested over 200 times and have a 45-page rap sheet that has recently been approved for expungement.
Woo! Yeah!
I was raped and robbed and at death's doorsteps more times than I can count. I spent my nights on the cold, frigid streets in very little clothes and 6-inch stilettos, heels without a jacket. If I was sick or it was raining, I still went to work. I worked on holidays such as Christmas Eve and Christmas. I did all this sober and never used drugs or drank alcohol. Over the course of the 7 years, I became pregnant by my trafficker twice. Even though I was pregnant, I was still trafficked till the day before I delivered with both pregnancies. I delivered both children by C-section and returned back to the streets within 2 weeks. On September 17, 2005, I received a phone call that my younger brother had been murdered in Billings, Montana. My trafficker immediately bought me a plane ticket and flew me to my family. After a week, I flew right back to my trafficker. I continued being trafficked until May 2006. This is when I decided I was ready to leave and turn my life around. I ran away from my trafficker. 5 months after I gained the courage to leave and turn my life around, my trafficker was murdered on the San Francisco track. It has been 6 years in which I made my escape. I am now finding the courage to break my silence, knowing there are many others that have been or currently in the shoes I once stood. Lately, I have felt the contentment and strength of finally getting to know who I am. I am strong and not ashamed of my past. I am a survivor who is alive today because of my strengths and vulnerabilities. It took me quite a long time to develop a voice, and now that I have it, I am not going silent. Since I have left the life, I married a man that was willing to raise my 2 children that I had with my trafficker as his own. I currently have 6 children, 4 of which live with me here in Oakland. I have taken it upon myself to be open and honest about my past with my children. I have educated them to the best of my ability in hopes that they will never fall victim like I once did. If I don't educate them, then who will? I only have 6 of the millions and millions of children that need to be educated. I should also mention that many of the parents of sexually exploited minors were abused or exploited themselves. I know firsthand that it's difficult to raise healthy children without support, counseling, and parenting classes. These are just a few of the needs that Oakland parents have and would greatly help them as they help their children become more aware of the risk of sex trafficking and to help heal from exploitation or abuse if they have experienced this. In closing, I would just like to say, Oakland, it's time to take a stand and come together as a community and educate our future. Awareness of the crime of human trafficking is the first step in eradicating modern slavery. Victims don't want to be exploited. They just want someone to love them, and they're too scared to ask for help getting out. Love Never Fails offers a mentor program that will be offering mentor training in June. We have a very long mentee waiting list for both males and females. I encourage you to become a mentor. There are many children and young adults that need you.